Boxing Truth here. Wanted to talk about a heavyweight scrap that's taking place this weekend. Hasn't really been talked that much, so I figured I'd talk about it. Do a quick prediction video and breakdown of this fight between Joseph Parker, up and coming heavyweight, against Carlos Takam, his most formidable opponent to date. And actually, considering the other young heavyweights out there, including Anthony Joshua, Joseph Parker has taken on the most highly regarded, most formidable opponent to date, even compared to Joshua's career. So this is going to be Joseph Parker's first real fight, step-up fight, compared to the opposition that he's been feasting on. Now, Joseph Parker has built himself an undefeated record, 18-0, 16 knockouts, good shiny record, shows some power. Just within title contention, just one win away to becoming the mandatory challenger to Anthony Joshua's IBF strap. However, Parker has been fighting mostly hand-picked opposition, development fights to see where he's at, so his team can get a good gauge on, who they can step him up with, who he could do well against, and who he could beat. So he's mostly been fighting, veteran heavyweights, journeymans, faded guys with experience that can give him some rounds, like his last fight. He fought Jason Bergman. And Joshua's got some tools as a heavyweight. He's definitely got some talent physically. He's got good hand speed for heavyweight. He's got good hands. He's got good combinations. He throws very good combinations. Good speed. He has a good body attack. Throws a good left hook to the body. Throws good right uppercuts. Pretty much has almost every punch in the book. Good body attack. And when he explodes, he can be impressive. He can really be very explosive at times in the opponents that he's been in with. But he does have some flaws defensively. He's got some defensive deficiencies that he needs to work on. When he throws combinations, he doesn't move his head. He leaves his hands too low. His left hand is a little too low sometimes when he throws the left hook to the body, and also when he's throwing the jab. Left hand, he drops the left hand sometimes after throwing the jab. If he's in there with higher skilled fighters, he can't do that. And also his right, when he throws the right hand, sometimes he's wild with it. Doesn't go by the book. Sometimes he's a little too careless with the right hand. Throws wild uppercuts, wild overhand rights, and he can get countered in between. He got caught with some big shots against his last opponent. Shots he should have been caught with, but luckily he was able to eat the shots and able to regain his composure and record a knockout, grind the guy down to a mid-round stoppage. So there's definitely some things to like about Joseph Parker, also some things not to like about him, and that's his defense. Also, he can get into better condition. He looked a little winded at times in his last fight. He's got the tools, he's got some talent, we just don't know how good he is, but now he's going to be fighting Carlos Takam for the number one mandatory spot, number one ranked mandatory spot in the IBF. Now Takam is his most formidable foe. He's experienced. He has he's fought way better opposition. He's fought world-class heavyweights. He's fought world title contenders, guys that have challenged for world titles, guys that have been rated in the top 10. He's held his own with these guys like Mike Perez, Tony Thompson, and he got stopped at Alexander Povetkin. And ever since that fight, he's been rehabilitating himself, taking on hand-picked opposition, journeymen, guys to build his confidence back up. He's recorded 3 wins ever since his knockout loss to Povetkin, and he's pretty much just been in there with limited opposition. Fought in a couple of 8-rounders his last 2 fights. Went the distance against a 40-year-old journeyman in George Arias, who was pretty much a heavy bag in that fight. Takam was able to let his hands go, unleash a lot of punches, but he couldn't stop the guy. Went the distance. So Now Takam is ready to get back into title contention, take on a better opponent, a fresher guy with confidence, but still untested. And it's a good fight for Takam to see where he's at in his career, and also can he handle a young up and coming lion like Joseph Parker. Now, judging from by their last performances, I have to go with Joseph Parker in this fight. Now, Joseph Parker might get tested. He's going to be in there with a guy that still has some left, who has rehabilitated himself since the knockout loss to Povetkin. Was very active in his last fight, threw a lot of punches, but he was in there with a heavy bag, a guy that didn't give much resistance back. So this is going to be, it's going to be a good fight for however long it lasts. Both guys are aggressive. Both guys throw punches. Both guys are big, strong. But I would say Joseph Parker is the faster of the two guys. He's the fresher of the two guys. He's the more dynamic puncher, more dynamic offensively. He's just a little more athletic, a little more powerful, has a little more speed to him. However, we won't know how good he is until he showcases himself in this fight. Also, he will get some resistance from Takam. Takam's an in-shape heavyweight. The guy's, he's jacked, he's ripped. He's not fighting, Joseph Parker's not going to be fighting some fat, so, guys with fat coming out of his trunks. He's going to be fighting an in-shape guy who's going to be trying to win this fight. So it's going to be Parker's first real fight to put him into title contention, to become the mandatory to Anthony Joshua. Very significant fight in the heavyweight division. Unfortunately for us American fans, we're going to have to use illegal measures to watch this fight. We're going to have to watch it on the radio somehow. We're going to have to find a link somewhere because no U.S. broadcaster bought the rights to this fight. So we're going to be limited to watching or hearing on the radio, but perhaps shitty quality, but still good enough to be able to see what's going on. But it's a good fight for both guys. Joseph Parker especially, he's expected to win. He's the guy that most boxing fans want to win because he has potential, he has tools, he has talent physically. He could challenge Anthony Joshua down the line, but Joshua and Hearn have their plans set in motion already. Make a defense against Brazil, and if they get past that, perhaps another voluntary, and then they'll worry about the mandatory shot, the mandatory defense that will be issued between the winner of Parker Takam when it comes to time to worry about it. But most likely they'll pursue a unification bout in order to avoid the mandatory winner of this fight between Parker and Takam. But I'm going with Joseph Parker. I'm going by a late round stoppage. I think he'll get tested. He might even get winded a little bit in this fight because Takam he's tough. He's gonna throw punches. He's gonna test that gas tank of Joseph Parker. So we're gonna see if Parker's development fights have gotten him ready for a guy who is as seasoned as Carlos Takam. I believe he's ready for the task. I'm not sure. I'm still not completely sold on Joseph Parker. He needs more fights. He needs more seasoning. I mean, he's only 24 years old. That's a baby for a heavyweight. The heavyweight division is different compared to other divisions. I mean, a lot of heavyweights, they reach their primes a lot later in age compared to other divisions. In another division, a fighter's prime might be from 26 to 30. In the heavyweight division, a fighter's prime might be from 30 to 34. I don't know. It's different in the heavyweight division. It's just the way it is. Some guys peak at a later stage in their careers in the heavyweight division compared to the other divisions. But I got Joseph Parker by a late round stoppage. He should defeat Carlos Takam in what should be a good scrap, good action fight, a significant fight in the heavyweight division. And then it'll be on to bigger, better things for Joseph Parker and hopefully a world title shot down the line, perhaps sooner rather than later. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.